No, they weren't.
You don't
No,
think
they
so?
weren't.
I think they basically had it.
The Houston Rockets are shit. They're shit because they take high risk shots, right? Which we are rewarded for because you get 3 points for high risk shots. But if you could be 75% from 2 point range, which Torian Prince can't do, Luis Scola can't do, Justin Hamilton can't do, Nicholson can't do, Anthony Bennett can't do, Dante Cunningham can't do, Jacob Wiley can't do, Wilson Chandler can't do, Torian Prince can't do. That's a lot of power forwards for us to look at and say, you know what, Sean Marks, you suck at picking power forwards. Now, everyone wants to be mad at me on Nets Twitter. They all want to be angry and say, Eve, why are you talking mean about Sean Marks? He got us Kyrie and KD. If you went to my 7-year-old son and you said, Trey, who should the Nets sign to build a good team? He would say LeBron, and then you would say, LeBron is not available. Then my son would go, okay, give me Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Because it doesn't take someone who is good enough at their job to be paid millions of dollars to do it, to understand that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are very, very good players. My problem with it is understanding that Kyrie Irving is the player that he is, and understanding that Kevin Durant just came off of an Achilles injury. Why would you ever think that the Brooklyn Nets would be better suited with Kevin Durant coming off of this Achilles injury, banging in the post as a power forward? That is crazy talk. That is what Sean Marks wants us to believe.
But see, I'm gonna push back on it because I think if look, KD played 4 and 5 in the 4/5, a decent amount in Golden State, and I guess in OKC it was a little more 3 because of Adams and Ibaka. But like, I mean, in Golden State for sure he was playing the 4 and 5, and I don't really think he ends up having a bang that much because he, like, I mean, the way that the NBA plays right now, it's like he's not getting matched up with Reggie Evans. He's getting matched up with other type stretch 3 and 4 type guys. So like he's not, you know what I mean? He's like, sure, sure. I mean, is it possible that he'll have to get matched up with like an Aaron Gordon type or a Blake Griffin type? Like maybe, and that could happen. But a lot of teams do go in with that type of smaller-ish ball, high up tempo offense. And so because of that, it doesn't scare me as much. Look, your point is still beyond valid. Like, I mean, Marks has not done a good job at the 3 or 4, and I can't really defend it. To me, it's just not like dispositive of him being bad, even with some of the signings that I don't think have been good. But I think that's why I think this summer is such a big one. It's kind of like it's a little bit how a lot of people saw last summer for the Jets as this is the big tell-all summer because they actually have money. They actually have they actually had like their picks. They were finally out of the terrible cap situation they were in. It's like what did they make of it? And it's like last summer the Nets had their first like kind of relatively like clean summer in about 4 or 5, 6 years, and they fucking hit a quote unquote home run for the most part. And now this is Marks's second clean summer of seeing what to do, which is why it doesn't like I'm still totally like floored by everything that he's done. And the other thing, and the last thing I will say, by the way, is to your point, I wish that he had The only thing I wish he had done, which he didn't do, is I wish he had sold Rondé Hollis Jefferson's value when it was at its peak, because it was clear that that guy was never going to be a part of the future.
No, I mean, I don't want to kill Rondé because
Oh, see, I'll kill
Rondé
him.
is what he is. He's a small forward that has good to elite small forward guarding skills. But in the Sean Marks world, Rondé Hollis Jefferson doesn't fit. The problem with the Nets is this, and it's a very simple problem. People think, "Oh, Eve, you're talking all this weird stuff. You're speaking bad about our team." No, it's my team. The Brooklyn Nets, I care about them on a level that I shouldn't. You know what I mean? I shouldn't give a fuck about this team. This is Sean Marks' problem. But I give a fuck. I care. Because on the chest, they wear the name Brooklyn. And it makes me sad when I see Sean Marks making calculations that are based off of next year. He's basically going, I have Kevin Durant. I have Kyrie Irving. All I have to do is just hold out in this storm, and wait till next year and everything will be all right. It will not be all right, and here's why. Losing, and don't tell me I don't know about losing. I used to be a Knicks fan. Right? Until the Brooklyn Nets moved into my borough, where I am from, where I went to elementary school, where I went to junior high school, where I went to high school. This is my home borough of Brooklyn, New York. And they moved into my borough much in the same way that the OKC Thunder moved into Oklahoma City. And if you're from Oklahoma City and you used to be a Dallas Maverick fan, you should be an Oklahoma City Thunder fan because you got a team. Brooklyn got a team. But Sean Marks is not living up to the Brooklyn standard. And here is why. He basically looks at it and goes, I have the very best scorer of this generation. And that's true. Kevin Durant is an incredible scorer. Kyrie Irving is an incredible player. The best scoring point guard in the NBA. But if you are the analytics guy that you say that you are, if you see things in black and white as it is necessary to build a professional basketball team that will win a championship, you need to be able to see things in black and white. And Sean Marks is basically going, I have two superstars. I'm fine. I'll wait till next year and everything will be okay. And you want to know what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that is losing is a cancer. Once you have it in your body, it will spread to your bones. It will spread to your organs. It will spread throughout who you are because it's unchecked. And what Sean Marks has done has made it possible for superstars to basically imprint their bad ideas on us. So you have DeAndre Jordan. Who in the NBA was going to give DeAndre Jordan a 4-year deal? Only the Nets.
Yeah, but like I can't. But you can't get mad at. I mean, that's a move that basically has become like a you can't even grade it because it's like that was a KD Kyrie wink wink thing and like that and if that's the price of doing business, that's the price of doing business.
For me, I say winning is a part of your culture. Winning is a part of who you are as a person. The moment that you accept losing, you have lost your way.
But they're not gonna be. I mean, this is now back to. I mean, look, it's not pretty, but they are. I mean, they are making the playoffs 2 straight years.
They're
I mean,
making the playoffs while being 4 games under 500.
for sure, but they've also had a million injuries. I mean, they had the guy who they thought was going to play. They had a top 11, 12 guy play 20 games, and look, you could say like, well, they even played better without him. Whatever it is, I think like a lot of that stuff is it's overrated. But they were out. They were without Levert for some time. They missed Dinwiddie for some time. I mean, like they changed coaches in the middle of the year. Look, I know the East is terrible. I will be the first one to say that. It's part of why I like.
It's for me. It's not about the East. It's about the Nets. It's about what the Nets aspire towards.
Well, what makes you think that they're like I don't think that they're condoning a losing attitude. Like they can't help the fact that KD and Kyrie are hurt, and then like they have 3 or 4 other guys that have coronavirus. Like I mean
let me ask you a question. Did we know that Kevin Durant was going to be hurt all year?
I mean, I personally I never thought he was playing this year.
Right? So I thought he was never playing this year. We still went out and got Taurean Prince as a power forward, which I think is ridiculous. We still brought in David Nwaba as a power forward.
Nah, he was basically signed as a defensive stopper guy, and he was playing before the injury, another injury.
I liked him. I thought he was very good, but he was guarding the big wing on the other team, and he's only 6'3". David Nwaba is shorter than me. I'm 6'4". I don't even understand how the Nets are signing these players, and then they're going, oh, we're outsmarting all of the rest of the teams because we're playing small ball. You're not even playing the modern version of small ball. You're playing the Phoenix Suns when Sean Marion was one of the best players on the team, small ball. That's dead.
But let me ask you something. Who besides Christian Wood, which I think was like a great point that you made, and someone who you were super high on early on, who else would it who in that 3 to 4 range would have you rather had them get so far that you think he's really, really missed out on?
They could have got Chris Boucher. They could have got Aaron Gordon.
But that would have been a trade, obviously.
Obviously, but still, that was a player that was available to them, and they never showed any interest. And it's because we are so guard-oriented. And that is not where the NBA is at right now. The NBA is at big wings who cannot be stopped. Siakam, Jason Hayward. Let me give you some more. What's the kid from Sacramento? I forgot his name. Just recently drafted. Awesome player. I'm not talking about Harry Giles. Harry Giles is a player that the Nets should have tried to trade.
You talking Bagley? You talking
Bagley? If you've got players like Bagley who could shoot long range threes, who's deadly in the post, like how do you guard Marvin Bagley with Taurean Prince? These are the things that are making me mad because Chris Boucher was out there. Chris Boucher is out in Toronto. He's a major part of their team now, but he was available previously. The other one is Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, Orlando has been wanting to trade them to somebody, anybody, because Jonathan Isaacs is their poor power forward. We are not interested. We are not building a team that is ready to play in this modern NBA, and the modern NBA is about the big wing. Kawhi, Paul George, LeBron. Because where we're talking about playing is rarefied air, and I understand that we have Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is in that conversation with all of those players. But we have not